Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of 7-Minute AE Tutorials, where you learn AE tips, tricks, and shortcuts in less than 7 minutes. No BS, just AE. In this episode, we'll go over how to use the repeater. I'll show you how to create the animated designs you're seeing now, all of which use one shape layer each, some groups, and the repeater. So we can go to New, Shape Layer. We want to add a group, and then let's add an ellipse, a stroke, and a fill. Let's make this blue for the stroke. Let's make it red. We can increase the size of this. Let's increase the size of our stroke. Go and add another group. Let's move this group to the top above group 1. And let's add a polystar and a fill. Let's make this fill white. Let's move this to the position where we want our first one to be, and let's scale it down. Anytime you add anything to the contents of a group, it moves it to the very bottom of your contents list. So let's add a repeater. Now the repeater automatically adds 3 copies and it repeats whatever is above it. So we want our repeater to go above group 1, so that way we're only going to affect our star. Let's make this 16 copies. Now you can add however many stars you want. By default, you'll see your anchor point is at 0, X and Y, and position is always at 100, 0. So let's make all of these 0. So see, we have 16 copies. A perfect circle is 360 degrees. So let's go down here to our rotation, and you want to type in 360 divided by, which is the slash mark on the number pad, and 16. And what this is going to do is going to give you a degree value for rotation that will fit all of these stars together evenly spaced apart. And as you see, it pops right in. It's a perfect circle. If you want to make this, say, 12 stars, 360 divided by 12 gives us 30 degrees, and you see how they're evenly spaced out. If you want to animate those stars on, put a keyframe, a second 10 frames, go back to the beginning, and let's make this 0. So see, you can actually animate these on. Now watch, you can repeat repeaters. So let's go to contents again, add another repeater, and see it's going to come down to the very bottom. So make sure you move that to where you want it to be. So let's open up repeater 2. And remember, you want to zero out your anchor point and your position. If you make it smaller, let's make more copies. Say we'll make 15 copies of that. As you mess with the scale of repeater 2, you can see, you can do all kinds of really cool things with this. You can add some rotation. Use your imagination and your creativity to do some really, really cool things with this. Let's go to shape layer, and we want to add a group. Let's add a rectangle, and let's add a fill. Make that white. The X value, we'll make it 10. Add repeater. By default, it adds 3 copies. So let's make copies 15 and zero out everything here. We have 15 copies. So if we go down to the rotation of our repeater, 360 divided by 15. The way we're going to animate this is by affecting the position of the rectangle path of our group 1. So let's start at 0, and we're going to add a position keyframe, go up to about 1 second. And as you lift this up, see how it creates this burst. Let's go to our size for our rectangle path. We'll leave it at 10. Then let's zero that out on the x-axis. Let's make the starting size 25. Okay, so let's go to the transform properties of group 1, and let's start the scale off at 0. Add a keyframe, and now you want to line these keyframes up with one another and make the scale 100. Hit play. Crank that up a little bit more. Now let's highlight all of these keyframes and hit F9 to make them Bezier. Go into our graph editor, and let's pull this handle left, and we have something a little bit more interesting. You can repeat the repeater. Again, you want to zero out anchor point and position. Add as many copies as you want, say 16, and then go to the rotation, 360 divided by 16, and then just let your imagination run wild. You can do all kinds of cool things with this. You can affect the scale, affect the rotation. You can keyframe all of this as well. The limit really is your imagination. Let's create a new shape layer. We're going to add a group. Let's add an ellipse. Let's give that ellipse a fill. We'll make that white. Then we want to add a repeater. By default, it adds 3 copies. Okay, let's make 15 copies. And we're going to go to rotation and type in 360 divided by 15. If we go back up to our group, our transform properties, grab the position, and you want to pull this up until it makes a circle like that. So now let's add another repeater, and let's go in here and zero out our anchor point and position so that way it's lined up perfectly. But now we can mess with the size of this, and we can even increase the number of copies, say 10, 360 divided by 10. Play with the scale of this second repeater, and we can come out far. We can go down within it. We can play with this end opacity of the second repeater. So that way it kind of has this fade that goes in the background. You can see the difference there. Play with our rotation inside of it. We see how we can twist it around. Go to our transform properties of our group, put a keyframe for position, and we want to move up to 1 second. Now watch what happens whenever you animate the ellipse up. So we end up getting this right here. We can even animate this on. Let's line up these keyframes. Highlight all these, click F9 for Bezier. Actually, let's highlight these first 2 keyframes. If you control click these keyframes, it makes them linear. Control C with those highlighted. Move to about 1 second, 15 frames. Control V. You center this up a little bit. So see, you can just really play with these shape layers and repeaters, and you can get some really cool effects out of this. Let's add a drop shadow to this. Just crank up the opacity to 100, distance 15, softness to 30. Maybe spread these keyframes out a little bit. Let's make that linear. So the main thing to take away from this is whenever you add a repeater, you want to add it underneath whatever group it is that you want to repeat. If you want to make an array that's radial, you want to make sure that your anchor point and your position are all set X and Y to 0. And however many copies you have for your repeater, make sure that you do the math, 360 divided by whatever number it is of copies you have, 18 for example, to get that perfect circle where everything is evenly spaced. Tools like the repeater open more creative avenues for you to explore. The more you experiment, the more you'll develop your own creative style. I hope this helped you out. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything you'd like to see and if this episode was helpful. Thanks everybody. See you next time.